Hello, Riana. How you doing? Let's go ahead and get your reading knocked out here today, okay? So, before we get started, I'd like to start off by saying thank you for coming to me for a personal reading. I'd like to remind you really quick that this here is an unlisted YouTube video, okay? Nobody can see this video but you. Also, I'd like to let you know that since this is a full reading, I will pull as many spreads as needed to get as clear of a message through as possible. There is no assigned time frame to my readings, and every once in a while, I run across a question that I don't need to use tarot cards to answer. That doesn't happen all the time, but that is possible. Either way, with that being said, it's whatever amount of time it takes in whatever shape, form, or fashion for the message that you need to hear the most to come through. All right, so let's go ahead and peep this out here and see what we got going on. Number one, any info on upcoming romantic relationships? Number two, what aspects of my life should I work on in the next year? Number three, what is getting in the way of me improving my health? Okay, so here's the thing, too. When it comes to what aspect of our lives we should work on, that's always so hard because you know what it is? It's the thing that we're running from the most. The thing that we're running from. The thing, like if I was to tell you right now, and you'd be like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, fuck, I don't want to work on that. You know, we all have that one person or that one situation or that one thing that we don't want to think about, you know. We don't want to think about it. We do everything we can to dance around it and avoid it. Yeah. See, the thing about it is, though, is once you, I don't know whether or not you're actually on the spiritual path. Actually, it honestly doesn't really matter. But when you're on the path to self-improvement, let's just put it that way, self-evolution. Once you begin doing these things, it gets easier and easier. It's never 100% easy. You're never like really 100% comfortable with the self-improvement and focusing on the broken aspects of ourselves. It's never a comfortable process, but it actually does become easier each time. A little bit easier, you know? Let's get 4 shuffles here. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ooh, 5 of Swords. Yes, see? 6 of Cups, King of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, High Priestess reversed, the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Did you happen to catch my recent Law of Attraction video on manifesting relationships? If not, I would definitely encourage you to go to my channel and watch that video in its entirety from beginning to end. Because what I see you have going on right now is that you are very much so inside here, determined, very determined to recreate something that you felt in the past as far as relationships go. You experienced something in the past with a past person that's showing here, and it produced this feeling that you really, 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 really are looking to recreate. And the fact of the matter is that what that feeling was not true love. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. Now, what I'm having a difficult time doing is pinpointing how long ago this was. I can't tell you how many times this has happened, but I definitely know that at least one time you met one person that just sent the fireworks, just boom, boom, it was just, I mean, like the most ecstasy you've ever felt before, up into basically this current moment. And you really want to recreate that. You really want to recreate that. But the fact of the matter is that with this devil energy right here, that was not love. It wasn't. It seems like it. That's one of the biggest mistakes that we make as humans. Oh, good God! You know how many times I've done this, and this is just one of your human lessons. This is one thing that everybody goes through. Many people never learn this. I have literally met people in their 40s and 50s who have not grabbed this concept that genuine love and appreciation has nothing to do with pleasure. Now, does pleasure come along with it? Oh yes, absolutely. Oh come on now, that's very that's mandatory. Come on. Well, I guess that's up for just debate. It doesn't necessarily have to be mandatory, but dude, it is. In my personal opinion, it's very important. The pleasure aspect of it, yes, but in point of fact, though, pleasure is very separate from love. They're two completely different things, and we get them confused. We get them confused. We get them very confused. I'm going to pull you another spread here because the death is in the reverse and the Six of Cups, which is what puts a lot of emphasis on the past. A lot. Okay, there's a very heavy past influence here as far as your vibrations for in regards to relationships go. A very heavy past influence. Very heavy. But I see that you're so determined to find it that you're chasing it away. That's what I'm seeing here. Ooh, the Magician. Let's get 5 shuffles here. There's 1, 2, 3, 2 more. Ooh, Lovers in the reverse. 6 of Cups again. This time it's in the reverse. Now indicating, yep, the world reversed. There's an extremely heavy past influence on your love and relationships here. And here's the thing about it too. Yep, the Death card and the upright this time. Here's the thing about it. It's to the point where I'm not saying you're never going to manifest a potential suitor. Okay, good God, you could have a plethora of potential suitors come to you. But when it all comes down to it, the way it is up here, once it's right in front of your face in real reality, you're a little bit, oh, you want to pull back just a little bit. Because we have this idea in our mind of how it's supposed to be. And we want somebody who's going to live up to that, right? But I'm seeing that you have such heavy hooks in the past, whether you miss somebody or this right here, you're looking back in the past very negatively is what this says. There's still some unfinished business. Okay, there's still some unclosed chapters. And at the end of the day, unfinished business is an illusion. The only time business is ever unfinished is when we are not satisfied with the way it ended. Or more often than not, let's be 100% honest with ourselves here. Okay, more often than not, it is when we did not want it to end. It's not really unfinished business. Come on, let's be 100% honest with ourselves. I remember the day that I had to come to terms with this fact. I remember. And this isn't every time, but this is a huge majority of the time that we feel like there's unfinished business with somebody and we want closure. It's not closure we really want. deep, 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 deep down there, what we really want is to slide back in there and try it again and try to manipulate it to work out our way. That's what we really want. Come on now. Come on now. Let's be real with ourselves here. And I know that pill is so fucking hard to swallow, dude. But now, is that exactly what you're going through now? Oh, I don't know. But there's definitely a sense of unfinished business with you here. Definitely. Okay. I'm going to pull you one more spread here. So far from what I'm seeing, it looks like you're chasing away relationships. You don't mean to, you're not trying to. But if you, again, I urge you to take a look at my manifesting relationships video on my main channel. Okay? I urge you to, because like I said, the universe plays your game with you. You can be like not downplaying anything. Like you could honestly have the best intentions in the world and like be the most loyal, honest, faithful person who wants nothing but to do the right thing. But if you're chasing after it, the universe is going to keep it running from you. If you're trying really hard, the universe is going to make sure you have to try really hard. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works. That's what I see you're doing. That's what I see you got going on here. Last shuffle here to see if I can get anything other than that. See, one of the things that separates me from other readers is not only do I tell you what the future most likely holds for you, but I also tell you what you can do to change it. Okay, that death reversed again. Two of Cups. Yes, I see you coming together with somebody here. But Ace of Cups reversed, Hierophant reversed. You're not attracting a successful, committed relationship to you because you're too focused on the things that you don't want. Okay, and that's really hard to do. We're too focused on the things that we don't want, so we create the things that we don't want. There's many, many people who, again, are the best people in the world. Not a bad person, not a stupid person, not a nothing. You could be the most benevolent soul on the planet, but if you think you're going to get what you want by focusing on what you don't want, it's not going to happen that way. If you keep focusing on what you don't want, you're going to keep attracting what you don't want. And it's... What it is we step into our own power and realize that we have to formulate a relationship with ourselves. Okay? The minute you actually, Seven of Cups reversed, which is one step away from Eight of Cups, once you realize that I don't really think I need love. It sounds weird to say that. But once you feel that, grab onto it because you're stepping into your own power. And once you fully step into your own self-love and self-fulfillment and your power, that is what will line you up with the perfect relationship because you have formulated a relationship with yourself, and that is how you attract and manifest a relationship because you've matched the frequency of a relationship on your inside world because you have a relationship with yourself. See how that works? You can do it. You can do it. But that's the way it sits in this moment, unless you decide to change it, okay? So, what aspects of your life should you work on? Well, let's throw out a spread here, focusing on some of your weaknesses. Let's throw out some cards focusing on weaknesses. Ooh, okay. Dealing with heartbreak and learning to tell the difference between your ego and your intuition. Okay, let's get 3 shuffles. There's 1, 2, and 3. And communication. Communication seems to be a big issue, and looking at things from a different perspective. Okay? So, Where should I start here? I think it's always very important to go inside and learn to distinguish the difference. When I say distinguish a lot of people don't really understand. I know we hear these terms like ego as being a bad thing and intuition as being a good thing. Well, and neither one of them are true. Your ego is very, very important. Okay, that is what your spirit comes and incarnates into ego form for a reason. And your intuition isn't always a good thing. Do you know the most successful criminals on the planet are highly intuitive? Highly intuitive. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Some of the most evil fucking people on this planet are highly intuitive. Your intuition isn't always necessarily a good thing. It's all what you choose to do with your ego and your intuition, okay? They're all tools to use. So the point of it is to separate them. Learn to distinguish the difference between your ego and your intuition without judgment. Without judgment. Okay? Also work on your communication. Sometimes you, like especially if you're hurt, be sure that when you are coming from a place of being hurt, that you're communicating clearly and not emotionally. Okay? It's difficult to do, but it always helps to practice. And practice looking at things from a different perspective. Okay? Because it looks like you have a hard time doing that. Breaking away from your own perspective. Not necessarily, I'm not really talking about empathy, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. I'm talking about looking at things from a different perspective. Okay? Why is it that we can be empathetic, we can put ourselves in somebody else's shoes who's suffering, but we can't see something from the perspective of somebody who's doing something evil and understand where they're coming from too? Why is that? Why is that? How come we are only empathetic and empaths if we feel the pain of somebody suffering? Well, aren't you just as telepathic, empathetic, and whatnot if you can put yourself in the perspective of, oh, say Adolf Hitler and see where he was coming from, maybe? Or Osama bin Laden? Come on now. We are entering into the age of Aquarius. We are expanding our consciousness. I'm not playing devil's advocate here. I'm just saying these are psychological exercises that we all need to do to formulate a greater sense of understanding across the board. Across the board. We need to understand it all. We need to understand it all, not just one little aspect of it. You know, we don't just want to be able to look at things like, oh, I can put myself in the perspective of somebody who's hurting. You know, oh, it makes me such a good person. Well, can you? I'm not saying you. I know it sounds like I'm talking to you, but just in general, you know. So, yeah, those are definitely some areas in life that the cards told me that we could focus on. Well, you could. All right, and what is getting in the way of you improving your health? Okay. I guarantee you I could answer that question without tarot cards, but let's just go ahead and throw you out a spread anyway. First of all, we are in the day and age now of becoming more and more aware of the fact that we make ourselves sick. The fact. I know you've heard it talked about, and it's kind of been tossed around and speculated like, I don't know if I can prove that. Guess what? They can prove it now. They can prove it now. Now, is this the most common knowledge out there? No, not really. They really don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that not only do you make yourself sick, but you also have the power to heal yourself. They don't want you to know that at all. But, yeah, we are becoming more and more aware of the fact because they can measure and prove and pinpoint exactly what toxic chemicals are being produced and what area of your body you're sending them to. Okay, because if you think about it, we humans are the only beings on the planet who can trigger the stress response just by thought alone. Okay, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Look, he's the one that talks about this. He's a doctor. Ooh, there's that Five of Swords again. You're looking back too much on the past. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You're looking back too much. You're determined. There's something that you something relating to your past that you're very determined about, and you're driving yourself nuts. You're driving yourself absolutely insane looking back in the past. We humans can trigger that stress response just with thought alone. Okay? The antelope is grazing the field. Okay? Totally calm, nothing going wrong, no problems. All of a sudden, up out of nowhere, a lion jumps out of the bushes and chases after it. All of a sudden, the fight or flight, bam, kicks on, floods the body with adrenaline and cortisol and all the stress hormones, flood the body, and then the antelope takes off, outruns the lion, all those chemicals flush away, and it goes back to grazing like nothing ever happened. We humans can trigger that same response with thought alone. And most humans spend the vast majority of their time in fight or flight mode with those chemicals running through your body all day, every day. Just from thinking about things. We're the only beings on this planet that can do that. And you know what? They can prove that now. There is no being on this planet that is built to sustain long, extended periods of fight or flight mode, of adrenaline, of cortisol, and all those other stress chemicals being flooded through the body all day, every day. So what is it that you're thinking about? What is it you're thinking about? That's pay attention to where your mind goes. You know, you see a lot of people who do it and don't even realize it. There are, oh, good God, there are people, especially old men like to do this. Old women too, but old men love to do this, love to get together and talk about things that irritate them. Politics. How many times have you seen old men? Oh, let's go. Oh, fellows from church or whatever, you know, they like to get together and go out to eat at a restaurant. And they all like to talk about how pissed off they are at the politics. Wait a minute. You mean you're getting together and you consider it a good time to become angry and flood your body with these stress hormones? You're thinking about things that piss you off on purpose because, and this is another thing they can prove, the body, after a while, becomes physiologically addicted to those chemicals. So subconsciously, you start looking for things to piss you off to one degree or another. Pay attention to where your mind goes. The next time you catch yourself doing it, think about it. Think about it and catch yourself. The next time you're sitting around with a peace and quiet, where there's nothing wrong, nothing happening, no drama going on, and you start thinking about something, and your heart starts beating a little bit faster, you start getting a little bit more irritated, you know, just by thinking. You're flooding your body with very toxic chemicals. So work on training your mind to focus on the positive only. On the positive only. Oh, you know that feeling that you get when you get a funny thought stuck in your head at a really inappropriate time? You know that feeling? You know that's happened. Like maybe you were a little kid sitting in church. That used to happen to me all the time. Or hell, it happens to some people like at funerals and stuff. But like that feeling that you get when you're somewhere where you're really supposed to be being serious and this fucking hilarious thought gets stuck in your head. And you, dude, it just feels like there's bugs in your body or something. It just feels like the inside of your body tickles so bad. Dude, that is the most healing. That energy that is flooding your body is healing. That is, you like just pumped so much healing energy into your body just by doing that. By that tickling, giggly feeling. They can prove that 5 minutes of negativity weakens and damages your immune system. 5 minutes of laughter strengthens your immune system. Okay? For I think twice as long, or maybe the other way around. I forget which. One of them is stronger than the other. But either way, they can prove that negative thinking weakens your immune system. Positive thinking strengthens your immune system. They have the technology. They can hook you up to machines and prove this shit. Oh, yeah. So focus on making yourself happy all the time, as much as you possibly can. What do you have to lose by doing that? Nothing. Nothing. You ain't got nothing to lose. You'll start to notice, though, I ain't been sick in a while. This pain that used to hurt me hasn't really hurt me quite as bad as it used to. It hasn't been bothering me that much. It takes time. You can't flip the switch on overnight. Okay, we're talking about formulating new habits. Okay, but it can be done. You just stay consistent with it all day, every day. And after a while, it'll be second nature. And you will begin to heal illnesses and ailments in your body just by thought alone. Okay. Anyway, I feel like the message you needed to hear has come through. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and end the reading here. I hope that gave you the clarity and the guidance that you needed. Keep in mind that what I read for you today was the energy as it sits in the moment, if left alone and untouched. You have the power to change the outcome of any reading you receive from any person simply by changing your own energy, if you choose to do so with your free will. It's your natural born right as the powerful creative being that you are, because there's no such thing as a future written down in stone. If you ever want to schedule another reading, you can hit me up anytime you want, and we can set you another date. If not a problem at all. I wish you nothing but the best of luck on your journey from this point forward, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now. Thanks again for coming to me, and you have a good day.